Happy Thanksgiving Eve, Sooner Nation. Hope you're getting ready for Thanksgiving, preparing the turkey, whatever you eat. Should be a good time tomorrow, and hope you have a good time with your family and friends. And before we get started this video, make sure you hit subscribe button, join the channel. And today we're bringing a video for you about the seniors. It's Senior Day in Norman on Friday at the Palace on the Prairie, and OU's got a lot of seniors now. Hunter has worked diligently, and I mean diligently, breaking all this down for you. And it's kind of over my head, but he's broke it down. So we're going to go through the seniors at Oklahoma. Now, listen, some of these guys have the opportunity to come back, some do not. And we're going to try to break it down the best of our ability from what Hunter was able to figure out. So let's start first, Hunter. If you want to just maybe name the seniors that cannot come back, that are done officially, and then we'll talk about a few of them.
Yeah, so according to Sooner Sports, there's 28 seniors. That ranges from a true senior, meaning this is their fourth year of college, to a red shirt with a fifth year senior, like Drake Stoops. This is a sixth year at OU. So some of them can come back, others can't. So in the ones that are out, like unless there's somehow they can get a red shirt or that COVID year, but they should have already used the COVID year. Marcus Stripling and Austin Stogner, they both played since 2019. You also have Rondell Bothroyd. He's been playing since 2018 at Wake Forest. Phil Paea played since 2017 at Michigan. He had a few years there that he didn't play at all, so the year didn't count. Then he had the time at Utah State. You also have Isaiah Coe. He's played since 19, and Walter Rouse as well as a fifth-year senior. And then to the red shirt fifth years, you have Jonah Lulu, Drake Stoops, and Jordan Kelly. All of those guys have played since 2018 at OU.
So all those guys are out of eligibility, so none of them will be back. Now, off those that you named, a few I'd like to kind of just highlight and talk about. One of them, obviously, we can talk about Drake Stoops. Just we already have before, but Isaiah Coe to me is a guy that really, stuck it out after Riley left, and I think he's been a really good asset for this team, and he's gotten better and better every year. And I think it's going to be a very emotional night for Isaiah Coe, or day for Isaiah Coe. But I see him as a guy that can make a roster in the NFL.
Yeah, I think Isaiah Coe can get drafted, sixth, seventh round, one of those late round picks. And if he's not drafted, he's getting picked up somewhere. He's been very good at OU. He was one of the top JUCO guys when he came here. And yeah, like you said, it's going to be an emotional day for him. For how long you've been here since the JUCO, and now that you're really out. But the guy that it's the biggest day for is Drake Stoops. Like, first time they said this week, first time in like 25 years that a Stoops won't be on the sidelines.
Is that wild?
That's crazy. Like, that's
you got to bring Mike back now. You got to bring Mike back as a defensive coach,
or Bob as an analyst, or I don't know. Does it count if Bob became an assistant athletic director and was in the press box or what? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be weird with no Drake Stoops, and his story is he should be getting a statue at some point. Because he's probably he should. Just the story
in what way?
In what way is he's Bob Stoops' son, one of the greatest coach in program history.
Hunter, I see what you're saying.
Comes here as a walk-on, and the whole thing is, it's Drake and Isaac. They're Bob's sons, and he made a name for himself. His last name's Stoops, but it's Drake Stoops. It's not Bob's son anymore. He's been very good his entire career. I mean, he has the possibility to catch pass from the ninth quarterback over his 6 years at OU, which is crazy. Been here since 2018. And I mean, everyone saw the video that went viral, on how much it means to him to play at OU. And this is the last week. It's not even a Saturday for his senior day. It's a Friday morning following Thanksgiving. But so it's going to be weird next year when going to games at Owen Field and Drake Stoops isn't there, because it seems like he's just been here for so long that like it's normal for Drake Stoops to always be there, always be that slot receiver that's going to come up clutch when you need him the most. So it's going to be different next year without him.
Yeah, and a few other guys there. Marcus Stripling, been around for a while, had some good moments for OU. You got Bothroyd with the 1 year at OU, and he's done well. And then you have Austin Stogner coming back. I'm sure it'll be emotional for Stogner specifically,
Yeah,
just being all he's been through. I mean, he's been through a ton in his life playing football, and so he's a guy that's going to be probably emotional tomorrow, coming back and celebrating that senior day. So, but moving on to the ones that can come back, Hunter. When we started going through this list, a lot of these names kind of shocked me that they can come back. Now, whether or not they will, that's remained to be seen. But these guys, from what Hunter could figure out, they have another year of eligibility, but whether it be a COVID year or what. So maybe go through this list, Hunter.
Yeah, so you have DJ Graham. He's a senior, but should be redshirting from this year. He had surgery and has not played at all. He also has a COVID year. So that should be 2 more years for DJ Graham if he elects to use it. Andrew Raym, another senior that still has that COVID year. Key Lawrence, same boat, has the COVID year. Will be interesting to see if he uses it or not. You also have Reggie Grimes, COVID year, which is that going to be used at OU? I don't know. Hasn't really played at all this year after last year. Started the season very strong with a lot of sacks early on, and ever since then, it hasn't been the same for Reggie Grimes. It's kind of just fallen through the cracks in that defensive end room. You also have Woodi Washington, who's a redshirt senior, but he does have a COVID year. Did not realize that because, again, he's like one of those other guys that's just he's been here for so long. You would think this is his last year, but he could come back, but he should be going to the NFL. He should be getting drafted. He's had a great year this year. He's really stepped up as the Sooners' top corner this year. You have Dillon Gabriel, who, I mean, this is his senior day, in my opinion. Like, I think he's gone, but he can come back. He has that COVID year as well. So would expect DG to not be back, as it looks like it's going to be Jackson Arnold's team going into the SEC next year. Then you have the name that a lot of fans do not like, that's Davis Beville. He can come back with the COVID year as well as a redshirt senior. Marcus Major, he's another redshirt senior, has that COVID year. He's been here since 2019. Played quite a bit in that shortened COVID season in 2020, but so he gets that other year. Trace Ford, same thing, which Trace Ford could go pro. Like, I could see him trying to on. I don't know. It's weird on. I'm not saying he's going to go pro and make it, but I could see him maybe trying it out like as
Possibly.
a redshirt senior, because I would be then his 6th year of college, like to return to OU. You also have Josh Plaster, who I'm not sure on how it works as he redshirted in 2020, which is the COVID year. So does that give him 2 more years or not? He's a redshirt senior, but wouldn't expect him to be back, but he could kind of just as a holder or just as depth in the punting room. As Luke Elzinga, who's the next guy on this list, has a COVID year for next year. Konnor as well, the transfer from Ferris State, who's played quite a bit on special teams, but that's about it. Hasn't really worked into that linebacker rotation at all. He has the COVID year. Jacob Lacey, who transferred in from Notre Dame, he also has a COVID year as he redshirted last year after his 4th game to transfer out and have 2 years left with before he ultimately decided to go to OU. Then you have Dejon Terry, transfer from Tennessee with the COVID year. Devon Sears, transfer from Texas State with the COVID year. And then Justine Harrington, he's a 5th-year senior, but he will need a medical red shirt, as he should get it. I think that would be his. I think it would be his 7th year at that point. but he should get it as he tore his ACL early in the season. So you would expect him to be back. I know Venables early on said that they're trying for that medical red shirt for Justin Harrington.
Yeah, so there's the list, and it's long and lengthy.
Yeah, 28 total seniors overall.
Which is wild. In that list, you said the second list there with the guys that can return and have that extra year. I think it's going to be a mixture. I think some of those will return. I think some of them will go pro, and I think some of them will transfer out. I think you're going to get a little mixed bag there from all those guys. But here's one thing that's true at a school, especially like a big Power 5 school, a blue blood like Oklahoma. NIL is a real thing, and some of these guys, you have another year, you're not going to make it in a pro. You might just come back and get that NIL, right? I mean, that's a fair option for some of these guys. So it'll be interesting to see kind of where they go. And if they, there's probably, I don't know if that second list you said maybe 4 or 5 that could go pro. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but there's some that need to come back and would make a better grade for themselves by coming back. I look at a guy like DeJohn Terry. I think Terry could have a big role next year. Lacey the same way in the middle. Just kind of off the top of my head from some guys you said. But like you said, Woodi Washington, I think he probably goes pro. He's been doing it for a long time at a high level, and I think he would grade out really well. So overall, kind of a mixed bag in my opinion there on what you're going to see.
Yeah, I would say there's 4 that really have a real shot if they do go pro, which I would expect out of those 4, only 2 of them to then get drafted, and that being Dillon Gabriel, Woodi Washington, Jacob Lacey, and DeJohn Terry. Sorry, that Terry and Jacob Lacey have been very good in the interior this year for the Sooners, but on the flip side, they return. Go to the SEC next year. DeJohn Terry was there last year at Tennessee. You're going to grade out even higher if you're an interior defensive lineman that played well in the SEC. Like, that's what NFL teams are looking for. So those 2 I would expect to come back for that reason. And then there's other guys on the list that you mentioned the NIL opportunities. Yeah, they could come back, or they could transfer somewhere else because they just want to be able to play. Stay as just an NIL type of a situation with very limited playing time. But I mean, from that list of 2 that really stand out are the ones that have kind of made names for themselves over the past few years, and that's Dillon Gabriel, Woodi Washington. Gabriel obviously can come back, but you would have to think it was pretty much said early on that this is it. And then I know Venables said he could come back next year, but they haven't really talked about it. So you have Dillon Gabriel is going to have his senior day on Friday. It's going to be very interesting if he's able to play in that final home game at OU or not. But nevertheless, he's going to have that senior day festivities as his last time possibly on Owen Field.
Yeah, so there you have it, guys. The seniors for Oklahoma, 28 of them. We'll see how many are recognized tomorrow. I don't know how they're going to do that. But like you said, some can come back, some will not. But that's the list for you, Sooner fans, so pay attention to that. Those are the ones you can write them down. You can listen to it, write it down, get your list for you tomorrow. But those are the guys to keep an eye on as maybe their final game on the Palace on the Prairie. So once again, thanks for being a part of the Sooner Surge. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel and have a great Thanksgiving tomorrow with family. And see y'all Friday. Boomer.